Okay, so for this next video, we are going to look at all of our language arts. So we're going to look at spelling, we're going to look at our reading, and we're going to look at our grammar. And we're probably going to touch a little bit on the writing a postcard. So first is spelling. Spelling is on page 79, this page. So it's typically you're reading the postcard that Pat wrote to Grandma, and you're circling your 4 words and spelling them correctly on the bottom. Now, this writing a postcard is what we're going to do later on in writing. So the next is our reading. Our reading is on page 74 and 75. So you're going to read this story, and then you're going to make generalizations. Now, there are 5 spaces, 5 numbers, which means I need 5 sentences supporting the generalization that brothers and sisters have to take turns. There are 5 examples of how they take turns in this story. So what you could do is read the story through once, okay, and then read it again and highlight where you see they take examples, where they get where they take turns. You can highlight it or underline it, and then come back and write a complete sentence, right? Subject and an action, and they take turns. They have to take turns riding in the front seat. They have to take turns reading a book, okay? So you're gonna write that on this side, but read it twice. Read it through once, and then read it with either your pencil or your highlighter and highlight where you see the examples of them taking turns. That way, when you fill it out, you have what you need right here, okay? The next is grammar, and we're going back to page 16, 17. Okay, so the first one is, it explains again up here what a pronoun is. A noun names a person, place, or thing. A pronoun is a word that takes the place of a noun. So you're going to rewrite each sentence and replace the word or words in dark print with the pronouns he, she, it, or they. The same pronouns we used yesterday. So we can do a couple together. So where it says Gloria likes to go to school, if I'm using he, she, it, or they, which pronoun am I going to use for Gloria? Gloria is a female dog. Very good. I'm going to use she. So I'm not just going to write the word she. You need to rewrite. First thing it says, rewrite each sentence. So she likes to go to school. Make sure you have that capital at the beginning, period at the end. Number 2, the children cheer when Gloria arrives. Well, children is more than one child, right? We learned that when we learned about plural nouns and how they change spelling. Some nouns change spelling when they go plural. So we would use they, right? Because we use they for more than one person. But would we use the they? No. Remember yesterday I said if it has the, a, or an in front of the noun, that's an adjective to help explain the noun, and we don't include that when we have pronouns. So it would just be they cheer. They cheer when Gloria arrives. Okay, they cheer when Gloria arrives. Okay, let's look at page 17 now, because I think you guys can do the rest on your own. Page 17 says, replace the underlined nouns with he, she, it, or they, and write the new sentence. Again, write the new sentence, right? Write the new sentence on the lines, not just the pronoun. So number 1 says, on Saturday, Officer Buckle takes Gloria to the park. Well, Officer Buckle is a male officer, so what would we replace that with? He. Good. So we're going to write on Saturday, he, and we're not going to capitalize it. Officer Buckle is capitalized because that's a proper noun, that's his name. But we're not going to capitalize he because that's not a proper noun, it's a pronoun. Takes Gloria to the park, and make sure you have your period at the end. Now, I used both lines. Can you use both lines? Yep, you can use both lines too. Don't write past this and down like that. You don't have to do that, okay? Let's try another one. Number 2, Officer Buckle throws a ball for Gloria to catch. Well, the ball's not a person, so we know it's not he, she. And it's only one ball, so we know it's not they. So what is it? It. What is it? It's it, right? So, Officer Buckle and if you notice, A is also underlined, so we're not going to write a it. Throws it for Gloria to catch. And, oh, I missed my R. That would be bad. Make sure you have the period at the end, and Mrs. Toon wrote too big, so I had to go over the line, but that's okay. You can do that too. Just don't write down, go underneath. If you run out of room, don't go down the page, okay? Right underneath. Okay, so that is grammar. Now, I said you're going to write a postcard. If you have an index card, you can write the postcard on the index card. If not, you can write it in a letter form. A postcard is something you send to a family member or friend, usually when you just want to write a quick note and tell them how you're doing, tell them what you're doing, keep in touch with somebody, or it's what you send somebody when you're on vacation, okay? Before we had Instagram and Twitter and everything like that, people used to send postcards that would have a picture on one side and then little lines to write and then enough room for the address. And you'd say, we're in Hawaii, we're having a great time, wish you were here, right? Something like that. So that's all you're gonna write is a postcard that maybe has 3 lines of telling a family member how you're doing. So if you do not have an index card, which all of the index cards we have are at school, so I don't have an index card either, I'm going to take a piece of paper. I'm going to fold it in half. Okay. Fold it in half again. Okay. So on this side, right here, this is where I would draw a picture of my postcard. And then on the other side is where I'm going to write my postcard. So on this, the left side of the picture, the left side of the page is where I'm going to write my information. And on the other side is where I'm going to write the name and the address of the person. So I'm going to write it to my mom. Okay, and I would write her name up there, and then I'd write her address. Which is the house number, the street she lives on, okay, and it's capitalized. I'd write where she lives, the city, and her state, and usually we abbreviate the state, okay, and then I'd write her zip code. Okay, you can do it, or you could do it down a little bit, so you can put a stamp up there, or you can put it in an envelope. You could actually send it to the person, that's fine. So you're going to start any postcard like you would start any letter. You're going to write your greeting first, right? We write the greeting first. Well, let's write our steps to a letter, or our 5 parts to a letter. We have one pen. We have date, greeting, body, salutation, and signature. Okay. Remember, those are the 5 parts to a letter. And they're the 5 parts to a postcard too, because a postcard is a really short letter. So first one is the date. So I would put today's date up here. And because it's a postcard, I'm just going to write the date in number. So 4/23, nope, 22, sorry, 2020. Okay. Then I write my greeting. Dear Mom, right? And then I write the body, which again, it's only going to be about 3 sentences, not 5. So do we need to indent? Yep, it's just like that. So your 2 fingers or 1 finger, as it's a postcard. I am stuck at home. We are learning over the internet. And then I would write like, how are you? Okay. Then I would write my salutation, which would be, if it's a family member, it's probably going to be love. Could be from. Okay. So love. And then my signature. Okay. So this is how you write a postcard. If you have an index card, use the index card. And then for extra credit, you can draw a picture of what you've been doing. You can draw a picture of your house. You can draw a picture of what you'd like to be doing. If you'd like to be going somewhere, okay? So I'm not going to draw a picture. That's going to take time. So here's the postcard. If you want to do it this way, that's fine. If you have an index card, do it that way also. That's fine. Are you allowed to write everything I wrote? Nope. You got to use this. You got to use your own brain, right? God gave you a wonderful brain. You need to use your own brain. Okay, so that concludes our English or language arts portion of the day. We'll see you in a little bit.